me uppies, gam gam.
Lift me up.
Lift me up, gam gam. Well, I'm Jason.
And I'm Jules.
And
we
Defy Bloods.
Oh.
I'm Jason.
And I'm Jules.
And
we doing filmographies.
It's a freebie week.
Yeah, freebie GBs.
Freebie GB for me and a freebie DB for you.
Yep.
And my freebie this time, Defy Bloods.
Yeah, hot off the heels, maybe, of Spike-a-thon.
Yep. It is.
Okay.
We just wrapped Spike-a-thon, and I was like, you know what? We ended on Red Hook Summer, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's a pretty bad way to end.
Mm-hmm. I don't recollect much about the reception of this film.
I thought people liked it a bit. I mean,
Yeah.
It just came out on Netflix.
It may have coasted on the inclusion of Chadwick Boseman. Although I will say this, I didn't think this was a terrible movie. I think the surprise offspring subplot, that you could have just got rid of that.
I'm so confused by that because it's contemporary. Trump is in the office.
Yeah.
So the daughter is
50?
Like, what? Yeah, 50 minimum.
Right? I mean, he said he did a tour in like 67 to 71. So assuming Otis was there at that point, let's say 72 at the latest. Although, was he at the fall of Saigon?
I don't know.
Yeah. I think that was 70.
I did not see him there.
3 or 4. I didn't either. That's why I was asking.
For him.
He said he would be, but I don't think he was. So it's 2019 in the movie. Yeah, she'd be much older than she appeared to be.
Yeah, she didn't look old at all.
I mean, they all feel like they should have been older than they kind of appeared to be. If you were 20, let's say, and 73.
Maybe like 70s. So, I mean, they're a little bit younger.
Yeah.
Maybe a little more rickety.
Shit. There was an estimated budget of $45 million for this.
Shot on location, right?
Yeah, which would have been one of the most expensive budgets for Spike. But it's a Netflix movie, so those figures aren't necessarily readily available. This was supposed to be the first Netflix movie to premiere at Cannes after a 3-year sort of boycott hiatus on Netflix part. The whole kerfuffle at the beginning when they were like, it's got to be in a theater. Netflix was like, all right, fuck you then. We're going to continue to make mediocre to terrible movies, and we won't show them here. And I said it should have been because it wasn't. It didn't make it to Cannes.
They're like, nope.
COVID. This movie was originally titled The Last Tour, and it was written by Danny Bilson and Paul DeMeo, who still have credits on this, to tell the story of 4 aging white vets who were heading back to Vietnam. Oliver Stone was attached to direct it at one point.
Osto?
That fell through, though. And the producer knew Lee was a fan of the movie.
What movie?
The Treasure of the Sierra Madre from 1948. So he said, hey, you want to do this one? And he goes, yeah, except I'm going to rewrite it, and it's going to be about black people.
So what I'm going to do is, you got a nice tight script. I'm going to fill it with farts. Real stretch it out.
I'm going to fart all over it.
Oh, you gonna make it better with all that breathing room? No.
And you know what? I'm also going to try my hand at gun action.
Yeah.
Check this out. According to an interview with Giancarlo Esposito, he was in talks to be in the cast alongside Sammy Jack, Denzel, and John David Washington.
Yeah.
However, due to scheduling conflicts, it fell apart. Wouldn't that have been something?
Yeah, they're too young though, right?
Far too young.
By like 10 years?
Unless it was the Gulf War originally.
Oh, really?
No, I'm saying if it was.
Okay.
Delroy Lindo said in an interview that when he first read the script, he had some serious reservations about playing a Trump supporter and asked Spike to make the character conservative without mentioning support for Trump. Spike said, nah, I'm not going to do that.
No, you've got to wear a MAGA hat. MAGA.
The ruined temple where the final confrontation takes place?
Made out of wood and foam.
Yeah, good job.
I took it from you.
You know what else you can do, though?
Hit me with that shot.
Oh, yeah. What do you got?
I got the Shamrock Shake.
Oh, I got Banana Burst.
Do you want this?
Do you want this?
I mean, I don't think I can handle creamy, but I was going to try it. Oof.
Now, you know what? Now you hit me with that goddamn synopses.
Wish I could breathe on my nose.
You should.
I'm going to try. Defy Bloods. After reuniting in now modern-day Vietnam to find the remains of their leader, Storm and Norman, Chadwick Boseman, who they buried in the jungle after he was killed in the war, veterans Paul, Delroy Lindo, Otis, Clark Peters, Eddie, Norm Lewis, and Melvin, Isaiah Whitlock Jr. relive memories from that formative part of their lives in order to heal and reconnect. Was that too stupid? Should I read them normal?
I mean, you do you, man.
I guess leave that part in. When Paul's son David, Jonathan Major, shows up, the five journey out in order to find Norman's remains and bring him home with the help of their tour guide, Vin Tran, Johnny Tree Nguyen. Nguyen?
Yeah.
But not everything is as it seems, and soon enough, although not soon enough, hidden motivations sow seeds of doubt and betrayal as the Four Bloods risk life and limb, and ultimately their very identity in search of their fallen leader in order to relive their glory days as the Five Bloods.
Yeah, this movie's something else.
Long.
Very long. There was a point when I think you messaged me like, oh shit, this is long. And then I was watching it, and like right around the 50-minute mark, I'm like, oh shit, yeah, all right, this is about to pop off and end here. And I looked at the timer and I was like, oh, I still have an hour and 30 minutes? Mm-hmm. Jesus Christ. Did you catch the Mookie?
Yeah, they said Mookie?
Yeah.
Like in the list of cool people?
Who are pigeon-toed. Famous people.
Pigeon-toed is where you like that? You're pointing in?
Yeah, because that one dude, his foot's like jacked.
Okay.
They go, why didn't you get it fixed? He goes, the ladies love it.
Why would they?
I don't know.
You gotta have them both pigeon-toed, otherwise you just walk in a circle.
That is, in fact, incredibly true. So the movie starts, and it's a typical kind of Spike Lee opening, historical footage of African American sports folk and famous folk and beatings and all sorts of shenanigans. It's like a Marvin Gaye, I think. A majority of this movie's soundtrack is a majority of one Marvin Gaye record.
Yeah, I was a little bummed out to hear some of the needle drops in this. It's like, oh, God damn it. I guess it's time. Spike's turn to do it.
Mm-hmm. And then, basically what we are treated to, I think, immediately
they're at the hotel.
They're at the hotel. Delroy and Clark Peters arrive, I think, together. And then the car dealership millionaire guy shows up.
Is that guy from stuff?
Honestly, I don't think I've ever seen him before.
Okay.
But he has an incredibly unique look that...
he's not the dude from She's Gotta Have It, is he?
Oh, God. I don't know. Wouldn't that be crazy?
That would be crazy.
Yeah, guys, that would have been cool. But no, Norm Lewis plays Eddie in this movie. He was in 16 episodes of Scandal. Tommy Redmond Hicks was Jamie in She's Gotta Have It. Hey Jules, he was in one episode of Seinfeld.
He felt like he had Indian lineage in his blood too, like West Asian.
Okay.
Indian. And I think they make a comment about him later in the movie, like, figures your blank ass would be like that.
But it's racist towards...
It feels like it's a word I'm not necessarily familiar with, and I can't remember what it was, and I didn't look it up. I didn't want my search engine to get me arrested.
Right.
But I felt like that was almost like suggesting something like you're not just black.
So car dealership guy shows up, and then
they're all just,
Whitlock Jr. motorcycles in, dives off it, and slides to him, and he's like, "What's up?"
Yeah, and they go, "Nothing.
What up, blood?"
And I think one of them tries to buy the room for everybody, and Delroy's like, no way. You stubborn son of a bitch. Yeah, motherfucker.
I mean, he wants his own room, right?
He wants to pay for his own room. The guy was going to pay for everybody's room because he's rich like that, even though he's not.
So right off the bat, this is boring.
It's underwhelming because I in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, so they're there to get this gold. But as the movie is playing out, I'm like, why did I think they were going to get gold? They're not getting gold. And then they're getting gold.
I guess that I expected with those four guys, and especially Lindo, I thought their dialogue would like crackle and they would all feel specific and interesting. And it just seemed like it was like old people saying stuff that didn't do anything for me. Like it wasn't inspired or interesting. It's just like filler.
Apparently Spike did send them out there early to spend time together bonding. I feel like there's an authenticity where they snap at each other and then it's just like they don't harp on it. It's like that moment's past.
Rolling my eyes.
But the basic idea is, their leader, Chadwick Boseman. Now, I think we both were under the same consensus that Chadwick Boseman, Jonathan Majors, they're going to be the young versions of two of these guys. That's what I thought.
I don't think I even really gave it much thought, but like I was like, there are these young people. It never occurred to me that the old people would play the young people looking old.
No, I assumed it was going to be two different sets of actors and two different timelines kind of a movie.
Right.
And it wasn't that.
It's two different timelines.
Yeah.
But
they say that they're the same age as they are contemporarily in the Vietnam scenes because they aren't flashbacks. It's them remembering. And so, like, when you think about something from your past, you typically just put yourself in there as
this
you currently
put
are.
this
Yeah.
there.
Which, you know, I guess makes sense, but I don't ever remember there's a moment in the movie where they're like, hey, remember that time? And then they cut to that.
Yeah.
The movie just cuts to that shit.
Isn't there like one shot towards the end where they're de-aged a little bit or something?
Yeah, the photograph maybe.
Yeah.
Looks terrible.
It does. Not one of them looked like that when they were young.
They also do that awful forced perspective transition where when it's in Vietnam, the screen crops
Yeah.
and there's no point. It's not like they filmed it differently. They're just putting a larger border on this digital film.
Spike's weird, man.
Yeah.
He'll do these little filmmaker tricks and he'll be like, no,
Yeah.
you're not doing it right. Like when he did the Squish-O-Vision in Crooklyn. You're like, what?
Yeah, and I
This
was
just looks
hoping
like
that they
shit.
weren't going to do that, and they didn't. But thinking about it, if this movie costs $45 million, it looks incredibly cheap, amateurish.
Like the guns and the blood?
I mean, the digital blood always looks awful,
Dub blood?
but you could tell he had a field to work with. Like when the helicopter battle is going on, it's just sort of like, there's a really weird, it's like a shot of the helicopter from afar, almost looking down at it, and then it's this aggressive, super fast zoom in to the side door, and then it's a hard cut to a different scene of him shooting. Instead of like fast zooming into him shooting, it goes in and then it cuts to like a completely different shot of him
The
shooting.
door was closed.
It's just terrible. But so their basic idea is they got the okay from the Vietnamese and the American government to go into the woods and find Storm and Norman and bring his ass back.
They want to bury him at home next to Starvin' Marvin.
Yeah. And the tour guide dude, he's super cool. He's like, y'all sure you don't want me to go with you? Like, they're like, don't worry about the blood.
He's kind of a little low on personality, though. Like
Little bit.
he's likable, but he isn't necessarily much of a character. Than like, I have your guys' back, even though I probably wouldn't.
Yeah, it kind of feels like the shoe's about to drop and he's going to be revealed as something.
I would think he'd be revealed as the guy that gets out of there, so he doesn't get in trouble with the government because they're committing crimes.
They rope so many people into their scheme. It's
Yeah.
insane. So they go, all right, here's the real deal. Oh, and then all of a sudden, Jonathan Majors shows up. He's just there. And he's filmed in a really weird way where he looks like a child.
I found it really funny when I was watching this, and I was like, boy, that Jonathan Majors is like, it really pulls your attention towards him. He's like really interesting and exciting to watch. When he's got that look on his face with the hat on and like he's down low
He's
in
got his
the
orange
picture,
juice. Yeah.
I love it.
It feels like classic Spike mixed with a little Wes Anderson.
So Jonathan Majors, you made me really like you in this, and I don't appreciate that because I heard about what you did.
So, but he's Delroy Lindo's son. And they have like no relationship. And
He's hated his son since day one.
yeah, and Delroy's a bitch. Although he's fantastic in this movie. He's incredible in this movie. The role sucks and the dialogue's awful. But once you get to that isolated jungle shit and he's just speaking directly to the camera, he's all sweaty and fucking jacked up. I thought that was really dope.
God, I was like so ready to like just be in love with him. I wasn't, Jules.
No, and really none of them pop. Clark Peters does nothing. Shit is just there. The other guy, it's like, I don't even like you.
No, he's got one good scene though.
Yeah. So yeah, they're like, all right, word. So they go out. They're like, all right, Delroy, your son's gonna come with us. That's cool. And there's a scene at dinner where Delroy's being all Trumpy, talking about building that wall and Mexicans and some old Vietnam dudes send them drinks.
Is that like the funniest shot in the world when they click to those two guys over there?
Clinking their glasses.
It reminded me, and it does not look like this, but there's like a vibe that I associate with the is it the Haters Ball on the Chappelle show where like the pimps are all pimped out, they're all like really done up, and they just cut to those two old men over there. I'm like, who are these guys?
In the middle of a long table, people next to them not really paying attention, and they're just like, hey.
Yeah, so they should be like, what's up, players?
Yeah, they didn't see what I did, but it really
Just
personified
scoop of the cup going up.
Yeah. And so they're like, Delroy, drink that shit. He goes, these fine. And they drink it. And so they're out and, making their way there. They're taking boats and trains and planes and
automobiles.
Some of that too. And eventually they end up at like a way station where Jonathan Majors starts macking on Hetty, who's a rich heiress / landmine and bomb diffuser.
I'm David.
David from the Bible.
I like David Ruffin from The Temptation.
Yeah. Motown.
And her two doofus friends.
That one guy.
Becca? Hecka? Checka?
No, the normal one, the fat one. That's what's his name? John Michael Hauser, the guy from the Richard Jewell movie and some other stuff. People like him. Paul Walter Hauser?
Yeah. Dr.
Hauser, MD.
Oh, and then before that though, Clark Gregg.
Oh yeah, from
Clark Peters.
Oh.
He goes to see a woman that he knows, who he had a fling with back in the day, and all of a sudden her biracial daughter comes in.
D-Day?
No,
Did you say on D-Day?
The day, yeah.
D-Day?
Yeah.
That's not this war.
No, it should have been though. And so she's like a broker or something, and he's like, I got this gold, I need you to help me sell it or whatever. And she's like, all right, I'm going to call him a professional.
Very good.
And he goes, oh, wait a second, is that girl my daughter? And she's like, yeah. And he goes, oh, word, I'm going to get out of here, though. And so he gets out of there. So now they're, making their way through the jungle. There's a scene where a guy's trying to force Delroy into buying a chicken.
Hold on 1 minute. Hey, this one's fat.
Hey, this chicken. He goes, nah, man. Better get this G word out of here.
Yeah, he's got a real problem with the Asians.
Man, it's just a goddamn chicken.
You killed my father and mother. Huh? You killed my father.
He goes, you G word.
I mean, it's interesting because, his problem is because of all he witnessed and participated in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like all the murder and horror that he's lived through.
Well,
but you are in this country now. What do you?
Yeah.
What's your thing? What do you think's going on?
Well, I was going to say it's at this point when he's having his panic attack, and Greg Peters is trying to calm him down, and
you did a new version of it wrong.
And it's at this very moment where I'm like, oh yeah, he killed Chadwick Boseman.
I mean, that would make sense.
He's just
Chadwick
like,
Boseman haunts him every single
He
night.
haunts me every night, man. You don't know what I've seen.
The things he says to me.
And there's a line earlier,
Like,
at some
forgive
point,
yourself.
where he says something like, man, you don't even know who I killed accidentally. And you're like, oh, what's that mean? And, so eventually they leave Vin, and they're in the jungle, and they're just jungling, walking, boom, boom, boom.
They're old. They are so old, and they have their packs on, so they can camp every night. That's a young man thing, and a young man would still be exhausted.
Yeah.
Climbing through these jungles with these heavy bags.
As soon as they found that gold, I'm like, there's absolutely no way.
Yeah.
Like, one gold bar is like 10 pounds. There's no way. You would have thought they would have brought some sort of like drag behind stretcher or something. I mean, Christ, apparently they've never played the long dark. But so the plan is they're going to get the gold. They're going to bring it to Clark Peters' woman.
Perfect Dark in 64, is that what you're talking about?
No, the long dark.
Oh yeah, Perfect Dark. That's a good one.
Yeah, it's a fantastic one.
That's the one you're talking about.
And she's going to get the professional to sell it or whatever for 20%. She wants 10%. He bumps it up to 22%. And he's like, well, I'm going to open up like Cayman Island accounts for y'all. It's like totally legit.
That's what Gene Reno says. Gene Reno?
Yeah. So they're like, word. So they're out in the field and they are bonding, but they're not. Clark Peters' woman gave him a handgun in a newspaper. And he turns around and he opens it.
Yeah.
Facing Delroy, who we already saw was afar looking at him. Basically like, there's a gun in here. And so he's got that gun now. They find it in his pack. And
they make him suck it.
Yeah, they're like, because he's walking with a limp. He starts taking pills, and they go, what you taking there, man? He goes, it's Oxycontin. They go, you druggie? You a doper?
Well, I'm going to sprinkle these everywhere.
It's like, no, I'm, 80.
My hip hurts.
And you see, he already walks with a little bit of a limp.
In real life?
If you knew that, yeah.
I didn't know.
Because he's got bow legs, I think. But they're like, yeah, you junkie. He goes, fine. He pours out his pills. I ain't no junkie. But then later on, the other guy, he gives him a bottle. He had some, or he picked up the bottle and the individual pills from the dirt.
I would think probably that.
And while nobody was looking, whatever. So they eventually get to where they're going. They dance a little bit. There's a Soul Train kind of thing they do way earlier. I thought that would have been the perfect moment for some float walking.
Okay.
4 guys float walking through this bar dancing. They didn't do it, though. They do float walking, and it's wasted. It's garbage.
Yeah.
There's a couple moments where they could have done it.
I was thinking you're probably
I thought Delroy was going to be float walking when he's crazy.
pretty jilted on that float walking at the end.
Yeah, that's fucking, give me a break. So they eventually find what they're looking for, which is gold. This is so stupid. They're like, where's we going? I don't know. And Delroy's like, yeah, you leading us astray so you can confuse us and rob us, you junkie. And then his son goes, I gotta go poop. He goes, all right, word. And he goes like halfway down a hill for no reason.
Yeah.
And then he just picks a random spot, sits down,
Doesn't want anybody to smell it.
goes to dig his poop hole, and he finds gold. I found it. Guys, I got gold. I found it. And they come running over. Oh, shit. And then they find the box, but the box is corroded.
I just shit all over the gold piece.
And it's, wherever they buried it, it's eventually corroded and eroded down the side of this hill. So now there's gold littered everywhere.
There was the area got napalmed and all their landmarks were wiped out back in the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
And then on a satellite map, somebody spotted the tail end of the airplane poking out of some dirt. And that's how they were able to know where it was in general.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. And so they find all the gold, and then from afar, we're seeing them in the field. And I'm like, who the fuck is watching them?
It's farmers from the past in the hats.
Some guys.
They traveled through a time tunnel to fight these guys again.
Yeah, it's some guys.
Yeah, it's some guys.
And they got guns. Mm-hmm. And they don't immediately just ambush them when they're digging up the bones.
Why wouldn't you just do it then? You would. You would just kill them and take the gold right there and then.
Here's the question. At any point, does it ever seem like they actually have his bones?
No, I thought they specifically said that they are going to locate it, mark it, and the next excavation team comes and takes it. Yeah.
So why did they dig him up?
To verify he's there,
I guess.
To be able to, geo-mark
that
it
makes
or whatever.
Sense. That makes sense. Okay. So then they are tripping out. They're carrying these huge packs of gold like idiots.
Their bodies already don't work.
And
there, at one point, is it Delroy Lindo that's like, well, how would you even describe that lurch walk he's doing?
Yeah.
It's like his whole body is broken.
Clark Peters, eventually, he's just got 2 sticks. He's just like, oh, God.
They're not loosening up from all this hard work and getting better at it. It's like their bodies are falling apart right now. They're going to die.
And it's like summer in Vietnam.
Yeah. It's known for being chill.
Very chill.
Steamy.
Yeah.
Bugs.
Like your butt swamp.
Yeah. Ghosts.
And so now at this point, Delroy Lindo has basically brokered a deal where his kid gets a share because he's going to carry a lot of other weight that they can't.
He already brokered a share for him early on. Like, that was his whole thing when Jonathan Majors was coming. He was like, he's in. He's getting a share.
Well, but then when he goes, guys, I can carry another 30, 40 pounds. Oh. And he goes, if my son's going to be a pack mule, he's getting a share. And a sonny. So then all of a sudden, they're, I don't know, like arguing for some reason about the gold, and the car dealership guy, he just starts walking backwards.
It's always about the money.
My mama told me that money is the root of all.
Most obvious thing in the world, obviously.
Right. I mean,
he's walking back for too long, and the camera's on him.
It just keeps going. And then he says the surreptitious words, and kablow. What?
It's like, he's dead.
No, and then they run over. He's got, he's a torso and a head.
No arm, a little bit of arms, but not past
Shoulders.
the elbow. Yeah. No legs, just like, he's a torso.
How is he alive?
Well,
I mean, the concussive blast alone probably would have just scrambled his brain.
Well, I mean, there's not a lot going on with him, and he's not alive for very long.
He's like, guys, I think I need help.
Does he say that?
No, but then he goes
screaming
for the bloods.
Oh,
and
yeah,
then
he
dies.
does say shit. But this is about one of the best moments. This is the best moment in the movie.
Yeah,
it's shocking and horrifying and upsetting to see him dying quickly and in mostly pieces.
Yeah, and they're just freaking. And that's when Jonathan Majors steps on a mine, and he goes, "Oh shit!"
I think I got one too.
And then all of a sudden, that's when Hetty rolls up on them. Hey, what are y'all doing? Nothing.
Are you the one that abuses your girlfriend over there on the mine? Do you beat your girlfriend? Leave him on the mine.
And then Delroy pulls out a gun and he's like, "Get on the ground, you fuckers! I'm gonna do stuff." And so then they decide, "Oh shit, remember that one time?" And they're like, "Nah, what?" It's like, how do you not remember? It's specifically related to this incident. You would think your mind would immediately remember that.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
We're gonna do the Turbo Tim.
Yeah. So they do the Turbo Tim. It's so dumb.
It doesn't seem like it would work. Like, why would this work?
No, because minds blow up. So theoretically, I guess, but the concussive blast from behind his head would probably at least knock him silly. So they rope him up and, they all yank.
Yeah, it was like 6 people pull him as hard as you
and
motherfucking
he
can.
jumps or whatever, and he wins. And then Delroy's like, "All right, tie up all these motherfuckers. We're going to juice them."
Oh?
And
They
she's
got a juicer?
talking shit. You dumb limp dick.
Question, is this how they're going to get out of the jungle? They're going to juice the young people and then drink the juice, and now their bodies are young again?
Yeah, and they're just going to power walk out of there.
That's awesome, Jules. Is that the substance? Is this what the movie The Substance is?
And, there's a bunch of they bury that guy.
Why? I don't know. Honestly, if there's all these mines everywhere and people are exploding, sorry, dude.
And if they wouldn't have been blathering about gold, when they showed up, they could have just been like, "We were out doing this thing and my friend just blew up and my son's on this mine."
Well, Delroy would have still thought that they were plants.
I guess.
Deep state.
Yeah. So now they're hostage, and
Now they're hostage.
eventually
We are Marshall?
they meet Vin, or they're confronted by those soldiers.
No, they meet Vin up on the ridge.
And
He's
then they're
waiting for him
confronted
on
by the
road.
soldiers.
Yep. Then they peel up in their cars.
"Hey, asshole, we want our gold back. Gold guy, we want it."
Nah, it's USA gold. You can't have it.
Clark,
Fuck you.
Yeah, Clark Peters is like, "Hey, man, how about we just split it?" And he goes, "Here's a gold bar,"
Now fuck yourselves.
which was generous. And they start to get out of there, but then everything goes to haywire, and they start grabbing guns, and guys are getting shot, and they killed that guy's brother, and
What?
the soldier guy, his brother, Facky or some
his
shit.
brother?
Yeah, it was his Brahim.
Okay.
He's dead. So that guy gets out of there, and
One of the landmine specialists runs and steps on a mine.
Peppo or whatever,
Oh, was Sappo?
Zappo.
Sappo?
he was in the Black Klansman.
No.
So was the other guy.
Paul Walter Hauser?
Yeah,
Really?
he gets killed in there too. I think he gets blowed up in there too.
Spike maybe got a problem with that guy?
Yeah, he's like Norwegian. Peppo.
That's not Peppo.
His name is
Sappo.
Jasper Patman.
Wow. You fucking nailed it.
Yeah. Hetty is Melanie Thierry. And so then they're like, "All right, look, the gas tank's been blown up. We got a little bit of gas. Jonathan Major's been shot in the leg. He's bitching about it. Delroy Lindo's left. There's some palace ruins or some shit over here. We're going to go there and we're going to make our last stand."
Yeah. Why? I don't know if
I don't
we
know.
need to do this.
So Delroy's just walking off, and it's like the most prolonged walk off in a movie. He's just over there doing gospel.
Uh-huh.
And
Falls
at this
down a hill.
point, the heavyset bomb guy and Hetty are like, "Hey, how about we get in on this? Cut us in. All right, you guys get $500,000. They're going to give Vin $1 million.
Yeah, because you know what? Doesn't even matter.
No, it
Talk
doesn't.
about-
They're going to somehow justify what happened and get them out of it, or I don't know. So they go to the temple. Delroy's marching off. Those guys come back, and they follow tracks. Some go that way, the others go that way. And Delroy's just getting a real Delroy moment. He's just losing his shit. "You think you're going to betray me?
This is drinking that stream water.
Me?" And then he gets his pack caught on the thing after he gets bit by a hilariously generic snake, and he falls.
You think that snake would have bit him? Why is that snake biting
He
him?
just falls with the tree.
Do they do that? Do they just attack you?
Why would it?
Yeah.
It can't eat it, and it's not a threat.
Yeah.
If it was on the ground, slithering
step on
about. Yeah. No, he just goes, "Ah, bitch, I gotcha." And Delroy's now all juiced up on venom. He falls down the thing. He is Venom.
He machine guns that snake.
He does. He machine guns the shit out of it. They machine gun the shit out of him. So
Don't tell them.
So he goes, "All right, you know what? Fuck it. Storm and Norman, you keep the gold, Jack." And he starts walking off. And I guess he gets caught because the next time we see him, he's digging his own grave.
Well, but you didn't talk about the flashback.
To what?
This is when he has the flashback or the hallucination of Storm and
Oh,
Norman.
that's right. And he says,
He's like, "Hey, man, don't forget what you did to me. Oh, yeah. I got scared because that lady came in and I fired my gun at her, but I was holding the trigger and I accidentally blasted you too, and you were dead so fast.
Yeah, from a gut shot. And he grabs him.
He's like, it's okay, bro.
It's not your fault.
It's not your fault.
It's not your fault.
It's not your fault.
Fuck you, man. You do math. And he goes, oh, word. All right. He goes, ain't no thing, blood.
Yeah.
Chadwick Boseman's so good. It's a shame he's dead.
He is good. I don't think this role's that great.
No, the role's terrible.
Like, that's really the only time. And
like when they're firing it up.
The writing is stupid.
Yeah. Yeah.
This scene is written stupid, but Boseman sells it.
You remember when they were firing it up?
Yeah, after they find out Martin Luther King and everybody's dead,
why would
they
you do that?
Unload their guns into the air.
Like, give away your position and waste ammunition and run the risk of bullets falling down on you.
Oh, yeah.
Dumb shits.
Mm-hmm.
But he was their dude, So, yeah, he killed him and he's regretful. And then all of a sudden he's digging his own grave.
Why would you not tell anybody?
I don't know.
It's the 70s, I guess, but...
It's not like they would have been like,
we have to kill you now, yeah.
Yeah, they'd have been like, that's painful, blood.
Yeah,
I can't imagine.
It wasn't like he,
shot
him.
the
lady. The lady came in to kill them. That lady was good, too. She was ready to murder.
I was imagining, she was shimmering on the ground.
Sneaky snake.
Slithering. Mm-hmm. I was imagining that he killed him outright.
I was thinking, about the gold for some reason,
exactly.
like one last person, or he wanted to give the gold away to the
black some
community.
shit he did.
Something like that?
Yeah, our people or whatever. And so I thought, he killed him. But he doesn't remember what the gold is or something.
Yeah.
But no, it's not the case. And it totally would have understood,
Way to ruin the rest of your life by keeping that inside and letting it eat you up.
Yeah, and so then...
They call it friendly fire, Jules.
Yeah.
There's a term for it.
It is. And then the guys just shoot him with 1,000 bullets.
Yeah, they really cut him up.
And it's CGI. So when he falls, it moves slightly. Okay. Trying to map to the body. Sucks. But then the other guys are camped out. Jonathan Majors is winning that woman back. He might also have a fever because he's infected. And Clark Peters gave him the letter that Delroy gave to him when they're hanging out the top of a limousine that we didn't see in case he dies. Somebody else, Vin, tells Clark Peters to give this money to this if he dies. And then all of a sudden, they took Delroy Lindo's MAGA hat and they give it to the professional.
Yeah, Gene Reno.
And he rolls up and he puts it on his fucking bulbous head.
It's like, it's a little in-joke for me.
Yeah.
Like, you're telegraphing your move. I guess they already know. I guess the whole point of him showing up is be like, I'm the one that fuck you.
I guess, because Delroy does suggest that Clark Peters' Vietnamese woman sold them out. I'm going to touch on this because I like this so much. Periodically, 2, maybe 3 times throughout the film, after they get into the soup, they are doing flashbacks of Hanoi Hannah.
Oh yeah, you like her?
I do. She's a radio person.
It's a real person?
Yeah, I believe so. I believe they really did this.
You know what? When I heard Hanoi Hannah, it made me think of Hanoi Jane, and I assume that this is a real... I'd heard the term before, but Hanoi Jane is Jane Fonda.
Yes. Yeah. The idea here, and I think they really did this, the Viet Cong were broadcasting specifically to black Americans.
Black GI, your government sent 600,000 troops to crush the rebellion. Your soul sister and soul brothers are enraged in over 122 cities. They kill them. Why you fight against us? So far away from where you are needed.
What are you fighting for? We never did anything to you. We support your crusade to find freedom and justice, right? And she's just smoking. She looks super sexy. And she goes, we're going to play this radio for y'all. 1st Infantry, 132nd, Bombcat, Raider Jacks.
Storm and Norman.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry they killed you. How did she know?
Starving Marvin, come on home for dinner. And I loved her. And I love the fact that it looked like she was also doing that under duress because there was always a soldier standing there. But so then they just bring out fake gold and they reveal that it's fake gold. And then everybody starts shooting. And everybody gets shot.
The bag's full of rocks.
Yeah, crack rocks.
Oh, it's worth more than gold.
Yeah, thanks. And everybody gets shot eventually. She jumps on a grenade, even though earlier in the movie he said he never would. And it blows up his guts and he's dead. Clark Peters gets shot in the shoulder, but he's alive.
Not for long, because here comes Gene Reno.
Vin gets shot in the shoulder. He's alive. Yeah, Gene Reno, he pulls out his gun It's like a real German style gun.
Yeah, why does he have that?
I
He's
don't
got
know.
like that little grenade. Oh, I guess
Yeah.
he kills that guy with that little baby.
Yeah,
grenade.
it's a frag. And he goes, sheets, mon ami. I'm going to kill you. And then all of a sudden his eye explodes. And it's Jonathan Majors using Hetty. What was her name? Hetty.
Well, she's named after Hedy Lamar.
Hetty Lamar. That's what I was looking for. He's using her to stand up.
Just wait. Okay.
He's using her to stand up, even though he would jeopardize her hearing shooting that gun that close to her head.
He did have to balance the pistol by putting the muzzle right by her ear.
And he was grinding on her butt crack.
I have to come right when the bullet goes into him.
And he saves the day.
Capture his soul.
And then Clark Peters says something like, paradise or something, which
Takes
is
me down to the Paradise City.
no, which is from the movie something over the bridge, Hawaii.
Oh, bridge over the River Kwai.
Yeah, and then they get back in a New York groove, and they give the gold money away to like Black Lives Matter, to some woman with a teenage son who I think we should know, but I didn't.
It's shit. It's Shit's
Oh.
wife and his kid.
And they do bring home Storm and Norman, and Vin opens up a dope tourist agency. And
Does he? What
yeah,
does he do?
you see him at a desk and it says like something travel log or some shit, and he's reading something. And then Clark Peters goes back to see his lady and hugs his daughter, and there's an extreme close-up of her weeping over his shoulder. It's like unsettling. And then they float walk. And then we're treated to a speech from Martin Luther about leaving the church. He hammers it on the door. His proclamation. You know what that is? Martin Luther. So it's Martin Luther King, and he's doing a poem by some guy, Langston Hughes, I think. And it really doesn't seem apropos of not anything. And then the movie ends, and it's like, Martin Luther King was killed or something. And it's like, okay, is this a Martin Luther King movie all of a sudden?
I mean, they can all be Martin Luther King, Malcolm X movies if you want.
And the movie's over. 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Disagree. I think it might have been okay if it was 90 minutes.
I like this better than Red Hook Summer.
See, I don't think I actually did like it more than Red Hook Summer because I was intrigued by the guy from Clockers, and there was like just a little bit of shit. But Clark Peters is interesting in that one. Far more than in this movie.
I think that's just because there's so much time spent with them that you just don't need to see. It should have been they got there, he contacts his whatever, and then they go to do the thing. You know, I honestly would even have, you don't even need the bomb people.
No.
That detour there, they don't need to be involved.
No.
Since they're the ones who save him, they're completely unnecessary.
And like, wow, fuck. I guess, is this...
I wouldn't even have done this shootout.
No, I know.
Cut all of that shit. Cut all of the shooting in Vietnam. We don't need to see them shooting guys. It's fucking whack.
It's so weird to see Spike doing this type of thing because it's like, well, wait, what? So this is about them like reliving their glory day Vietnam things where they get to do a last stand, but it's lame because they're old and this movie's boring.
And then Delroy's like, I'm broken, man. It's like, oh God, this emo bitch.
Bro, I did not like really any of this. I found it really hard to get through. I found it pointless and uninteresting and just full of air, and I did not think it was cool. There was a few moments I liked. When that guy gets blown up, that was really something.
I think the movie starts to make sense and click for me. Yeah, once they're in the jungle and they find the gold. I kind of wish like they would have just gotten rid of the first 50 minutes.
You don't need it because I think he's
just
like
start in the jungle.
Hang out with these old guys, man. Get a feel for these old guys. Oh shit, now things are crazy. It's like, no, but I don't like hanging out with them. They're not interesting. None of this is interesting.
It could have been interesting if we were seeing the movie from Jonathan Major's standpoint.
Sure, or if like somebody that did an action movie did this, and it
doesn't even need to be an action movie.
But it would be more interesting with Spike doing the action angle. If you just did that, and it's this battle in the jungle for the gold, infinitely more interesting than what we got.
Isn't that what he did with Santa Ana or whatever?
What?
The war movie that he made?
Huh?
He made that war movie?
I don't know about that.
You don't know about that?
I don't want to see it.
I think it's a World War II movie.
I'm done. Spike?
Yeah.
But he doesn't do these things. I don't think he does them well.
Miracle at Santa Ana from 2008.
I'm good.
It's an American-Italian epic war film based on some book.
And I've never heard of it. I'm sure it's terrible.
Derek Luke's in it. Michael Ealy's in there.
Derek Luke? Is that Antoine Fisher?
John Turturro, Omar Benson Miller. Yeah. Johnny Legs.
I really like, I
It's supposed to suck, by the way.
I'm sure. I like Spike. I respect Spike. I think Spike is very interesting when he's like telling a personal story or has like a good point of view. When he's trying out different genres, I think he can go terribly. I think he thinks he can do big, long movies and that his movies are always awesome, and they are not. The long ones, the length has gotten away from him right in the beginning, and I don't think that's a good thing.
No, that's very true. You know, I
like Crooklyn's length.
I always equate him to Woody Allen. And I think a lot of people do.
Sure.
They start young, they're fresh, they're doing their own thing. It's almost like they're making movies in spite of Hollywood or whatever. And then they both hit like a peak, you know, a couple of movies in. And then from there, it's just like almost like they don't need to make the effort to really craft a movie.
Because they're like, I got this.
Yeah, I'm just going to film that. I'm just going to film that.
I'm good. It's going to be good. Everybody likes my movies every time.
Like the Summer of Sam, it's just like, fuck me.
And there's stuff I like in that movie. Boy.
If he's left to his own devices of just doing something small around a colorful cast of characters, it usually works out to his benefit.
Except for in the later years, because that's what he did with Red Hook Summer, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, but then again, he does a hard pivot for no reason. If you'd established some of that shit earlier, maybe it would have been more interesting. Whatever.
I don't like this movie.
Yeah, now that you mention it, I think I like parts of it, and it takes a while, like you said, to really get interested in it.
It's a whole hour of super fucking bored.
Yeah.
And maybe an hour and a half. I feel like it's last hour that's interesting.
I think it's 55 minutes when they get to the jungle.
So an hour and a half when that guy blows up?
Yeah. And then another hour of terrible action and bad genre no acting.
Yeah, the action is bad.
Yeah.
I was a little bit thrilled when I was like, oh shit, it's actually going to be kind of cool if these old guys use their old Vietnam moves and kill all these dudes.
Yeah.
Oh, sure, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, considering they're broken down and just carried around 90 pounds of gold and, you know, are they ready for that shit? I don't know.
Why did I got tricked. I really thought this was going to be a delight. You know, a month and a half ago, I would have been like, Spike Lee's a god. And then, no.
Because also they don't show how they then get out of there. I assume they take one of their cars and drive, but I don't know. What do you give this movie?
Man. I'm going to give it a 5. And I think it's a rude-ass 5 because I think people can get stuff out of this. It's boring. It's not straight garbage. I'm going to give it a 5. Those are my personal feelings.
I'm going to give it a 5.5. It's pretty middling, but there were some parts that I felt like, okay, this is cool, you know. Few and far between, but...
This is like going into something you're like, oh, this is an Oscar winner. I'm really excited to watch this. And you're like, what? No, it's not.
Let me ask you something.
Did it give me a spooky feeling?
Yeah. Would it have been slightly better if Spike was one of the guys?
No, it would have pulled me right out of it.
What if it was Robert De Niro, Christopher Walken, and the other two guys?
But it's like now, like they filmed it at the same time.
And it's not the same guys, but you get that vibe.
Okay.
Right? Like when they do that sometimes.
Yeah.
Bring back guys from different movies, but they make it feel like
they're too old. Everybody's too old. I don't.
That's what you need to be if you're talking about Vietnam. When I was at the Olive Garden earlier,
were your family?
Yeah, there was an old man and his old wife there.
Yeah,
and he has on a red hat that says USA. And then it wasn't until he got up and left that I noticed on the side was the number 45.
What does that mean?
That's the 45th president, Donald Trump.
Oh God!
So the guy's pissed.
He's got a MAGA hat that's not a MAGA hat.
One of like the bus ladies happens to walk by, and he goes, "Come here," and she's Hispanic. And he's like, "You charged me for the soup and the salad. I only had the soup." And she goes, "Oh, okay, I'm not your waiter, but, you know," he goes, "We have the same head."
What?
Yeah.
Is this a real story?
Yeah. And she goes, "Well, go get the manager. Go get," he said the guy's name, and he's Hispanic also. She goes, "Okay, word." So she leaves, and then all of a sudden the waitress comes back, who was also our waitress, and she's Hispanic as well, and she was like 16.
Did you have the same head?
No, she looks completely different. The bus lady's like 30, and this girl's like a child. And he goes, you know, he's ripping her a new one, talking about, you charged me for this. And she goes, oh, I'm sorry. Would you like me to get the manager? Yes, get the manager. And the manager comes up and he goes, oh, yeah, I'm so sorry. We inadvertently charged you for both. That girl, you need to fire her.
Oh, wow.
She's terrible at her job.
This sounds... How'd you have this story ready to go?
It just happened because we were coming back from the thing. So Callie had cash and she bought all of the stuff. And so she bought everything because she had cash. And I said, well, I'll buy dinner because I'm hungry. And so we went there and it was terrible. But she turns around and she was about to rip into this guy when he's like, you need to fire her. She's terrible. And the guy goes, I'm sorry you feel that way. I think she does a fantastic job. I brought you the receipt. We made a mistake. I want to show you that, I took off the thing and I charged you for this and this. And, he's looking at it and his wife is just like, shut up. And so he's like paying and the guy's like, you want me to show you how to use the machine? He goes, I got it. And then his wife's like, leave her a tip. And he's like, and then he gets on his walker. He starts walking out of there. And so I left her a $10 tip. And as we're getting up, the manager, because I looked at him as soon as he said that about her, he just happened to be looking at me. And I was like, whoa. And so when I'm getting up, we run into the manager again. And he goes, all right, thanks for coming out. And I was like, yeah, man. He's like, sorry, you had to. And I was like, whatever, dude. I saw his hat and I knew what was up. And he goes, oh, you saw that? And it took us like a few minutes after they left to get our shit and leave. And we get outside. He's still trying to get to the car. I'm just like, you old, I ought to just kill you.
It's wild, dude. I mean, they're just like...
It's just an excuse to be racist.
And also, people are manipulating. They're being manipulated into finding outlets for the grief of life.
Yeah.
It's like, no, man, you can't pin this on other people. This is just the world. This is life.
Somebody makes a mistake. You pull them aside and you say, I'm sorry, excuse me.
Build the wall.
You charged me for this and I actually didn't have that.
Build the wall and charge Mexico.
He built the wall around his brain and his heart.
Yeah, but Fox News is on all the TVs in the inside of the wall.
Yeah, it's like, who demands to have somebody fired in this day and age?
But old people.
I guess. I said to her, well, good news is he'll be dead soon. I said that while we were both sitting right behind him.
It's probably only like 2 or 3 years before he can't even come into the Olive Garden. He can barely make it in.
If he's that jazzed up, he's just going to kill himself with his own heart. So that's Defy Bloods.
Yep.
That was your pick. You regret it to this day.
Mm-hmm.
And you can find us on social media.
Yeah.
You can go to our link tree.
linktr.ee/WeDoInfomographies. Boy, I bet you're going to type that out.
You can email us at WeDoingFilmographies@gmail.com.
And I'll let you know the link tree address.
You can
email me.
You can call us
at 763-634-1897. If you listen carefully to the voicemail, we do tell you to go to linktr.ee/WeDoInfomographies.
Yep. And either thanks for joining us previously or join us next time when we do my pick. I've been Jules.
And I have been Jason.
Arrivederci, baby.